Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is another wonderful Wednesday. Time to get wise with another episode of Wednesday Wisdom. Today, though, is a special day. We actually have a return guest. I think this is one of the only few people that we've had come back to the podcast twice within the same year, and it's none other than Mr. Michael LaFido. He crushed it last time. He is the luxury expert. Who wants more luxury listing? Who wants more high-end listings? Who wants more high-end business? Who wants more high-side buyer side? That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about seven strategies, seven things that you can do, the seven steps to getting more luxury clients. That's what Michael's going to be breaking down for us today. I think he's probably going to start with mindset. I'm not going to tell too much of what he's going to do, but I know that's what he did last time, and I think that that's a great place to start. Without further ado, Michael LaFido, introduce yourself for anyone that doesn't know you, and I'll talk about why I asked you to come back.
Hey, thank you so much. Excited to be back. Appreciate you, Tony. I love what you're doing for the industry, for your agents, and yeah, absolutely. Just last week, Tony, we did a free training for the Houston Association of Realtors. There were 670 agents registered. They sold out. It was 500. They opened it up to 600, 670. And the topic was how to increase your average sale price in 2023 and beyond. So I think that's a message that can resonate with anybody that is in real estate if you represent buyers or sellers. So that's what I'm passionate about. And we treat everybody fairly. We help the renters. We help the entry level. Agents need to diversify their portfolio. And that's what we help agents do is just do that. Most focus in the entry and the starter price points. And that's fine. We help them build the knowledge and the tools and the resources to feel comfortable and confident to go after some of those upper price point buyers and sellers.
And you actually invented the luxury designation, right? The Lux designation. Tell us about that.
We did, yeah. So we launched it 7 years ago. Next week will be our 7-year anniversary. And we launched it in Texas, right? Go big or
Of
go home in
course.
Texas.
That's
We
right.
launched it up in, I believe it was Colleyville, but in the Dallas area. We taught it to a Remax office at a Studio Movie Grill, Remax DFW and Associates, and we had 100 top agents in the room. We did a full day training in a big old movie theater. It was awesome. My PowerPoint was like on a 50-foot wide screen.
It's great looking at yourself on a 200-foot
Well,
screen, right?
it shows your blemishes. Believe me, I
That's right.
got
Black
one
heads and
nostril bigger
everything.
than my other, Tony, and it looked a little bit bigger there too.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, in all seriousness, so we launched it 7 years ago with the idea we wanted to empower the agent and we wanted to protect the consumer, because if the consumer has a better experience, then guess what? They're more likely to refer a licensed realtor versus sell by owner or whatever, right? So we don't have any luxury sales requirements to get certified in luxury. So Tony, somebody in your audience that's a newer agent or specializes in entry level, they can go through our course and get certified in luxury. And I believe that benefits the consumer, because I think if the consumer hires one of your listeners to buy or sell a home, that agent should have the tools, resources, knowledge, network to best help that client. And so that's what our course does. That's why we don't have any prerequisites to take our course and to get certified in luxury.
Awesome, Mike. And last time you had just such an incredible wealth of information that I feel like we barely scratched the surface. So I'm so glad that you came back. But we're going to get right into the nitty gritty because we don't have time to get all esoterical, I think, like
Yep,
last time. But
sure.
let's dig right into the seven strategies, seven steps that agents can use right now to get luxury clients, whether it's buy side, sell side, rentals, whatever that looks like, even apartment locating. I've got a friend of mine that I'm bringing over to our company that he actually does 100% apartment locating high-end apartments. So incredible guy. But a long story short, let's talk. Let's start. What's step one? What's the first thing that someone needs to know if they're going to go into luxury real estate?
Yeah. So number one, you already talked about it. It's the foundation. You can't build a building on a weak foundation. You can't build your business as an entrepreneur, as a broker, as an individual agent, whether you be a team leader. You can't build it on a weak foundation. And guess what? There's turbulence in our business, isn't there? Right? You get
A
cancel
little.
contracts. I was talking to a team member yesterday, and in the last week, he's had one. He represented a buyer that was buying a $400,000 home. The the buyer wanted to put the offer in sight on the scene, and he said, no, you should really see it. The agent said, no, I don't want to submit unless you see. He goes, he's legitimate. Let's do it. Guess what? They got the deal. Multiple offers. They got it. They go to the they go to look at the house after it's accepted, and he's like, I don't want. And he backed out. He felt terrible for the agent. Well, same thing happened. He represented the seller, and the buyer backed out yesterday, and so he's seen both sides of it. So there's turbulence. We get kicked in our shins in this industry, Tony. So you got to continue to pull yourself off the mat, right? Or to use a wrestling analogy, because you're going to get pinned, you're going to get knocked down, but you got to stay positive. So garbage in, garbage
out, or stays, right?
yeah,
That's what we
you
learned last
remember.
time.
You
It
remember.
stays.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are default to think garbage in, garbage out. We're default to say sticks and stones won't break my bones, but names won't never hurt me. That's false. Okay, it's garbage in, garbage stays. So on the flip side of that is positive in, positive stays.
Sure.
Optimistic in, optimistic stays. It's going to be my best year ever. Best year ever stays. You see what I'm saying? And
That's right.
so it really does start with your mindset. That's the foundation. Lisa Hayes says, be careful how you talk to yourself because you are listening. So that is step one. Okay. Step one.
Step one, get your mind right. Right. And recognize the fact that there's nothing separating you. There's nothing holding you back from being a luxury agent and dominating your luxury market. And I know last time as well, we discussed what the common objections are. What are some of the common hurdles that and these excuse-isms that agents use that prevent them from getting into luxury, Mike?
Yeah, so I call those misconceptions, but they're just like you said, they're excuses, right? So I got to be licensed X amount of years, Tony, before I sell luxury real estate. False. I gotta have gray hairs or some rings under my eyes before I sell luxury real estate. False. I got to be licensed with a certain brokerage. False. I just had one of our programs. We call it my closer program. I helped a brand new agent, never sold a house down in Fort Lauderdale, but this guy's good on the phone, a little bit salesmanship, over promise, under deliver. We got to work on some ethics stuff, but he got a $22.9 million listing appointment, and he hired us. They call it my closer program. I went down there, I went on the appointment, and we got this other agent that he brought into, we got her the listing. Okay. And so part of it was mindset. The other is how you present yourself, how you position yourself. So, be careful how you're talking to yourself. But the second part of all this, Tony, is your blueprint. How are you going to get more opportunities? We are in an opportunity business. That's all we are. When lunchtime, it's 11:15, as we're filming this Central Time. At 12:15, some of you on the East Coast are going to go grab lunch here any minute. When you're in the line at the deli, you're in the line at Chili's, you're in line to get a bottled water at the vending machine. Are you having conversations with people? Oh, it's a nice day. It's small talk. These are all opportunities, letting people know what you do for a living. Okay. Shy real estate agents have skinny kids, Tony. You can't be shy. You got to let people know what you do for a living. Hand out your cards. I know digital business cards are popular. I got a digital business card. I could text it to you. I don't have the kind where you tap my phone, but I like giving the physical business cards out. And you got to teach people how to hand out your business cards. That's a whole nother podcast in itself. I did a educational video on it. Teach mom how to hand out your business card, but more importantly, how to make introductions. So if you and I were talking, Tony, and I liked you and say, hey, here's my business card. And then, consider when you're going to buy or sell, Tony, give me a ring. Well, guess what, Tony? I'm at the mercy of hoping, just like an open house, if they don't sign in, but you give a card, that they'll contact you. But if it's, hey, Tony, you got a card, or, hey, let me grab your number real quick. I'll send you a text. Make sure you got it. Now I have your information. So I at least feel like I have a little bit more control as far as I can contact you. I can text you, I can drip you, whatever it might be. So the second point I want to talk about is the blueprint, but I want to go deeper on the blueprint because there's 5 nuggets that most agents fail at with your blueprint. Okay.
But before we get there, well, hang on. So I know we're gonna go. I can't wait. I can't wait to
Yep.
hear it. That said, I love that strategy, and I want to tap on it for a bit. We had Elizabeth Riley on the podcast. She's one of the other people that's been here
She's a
twice.
rock
Uh,
star out of Austin.
Absolute rock star. She's one of the only people, like I said, that's been here twice. And one of the things that she talks about with her Lux Property Group is her method of farming and focus on farming people in these neighborhoods, in some of these high end communities. So you go to that local coffee shop in that high end subdivision that's right around there where they all have coffee. Maybe it's Starbucks, maybe it's not, maybe it's a fancier boutique type place. That's fine. Bring your lender with you, set up, you post up there for an hour or two, okay? And then you tell that barista, hey, I'm buying all the coffee for the next hour, right? Or for the next 2 hours, I'm buying all the coffee. Now you say I'm buying it. Actually, it could be your lender, it could be your title company, it could be whoever you got there with you to shake hands. But you sit there in the corner, you cover the coffee for the next hour. And of course, when they come up to get their coffee, the barista says, hey, it's been covered by that lady over there in the corner, by that handsome gentleman over there in the corner. He already bought your coffee. They're going to come up, introduce themselves to you. That's where you hand this card that Mike's talking about. And you've got that instant rapport. You've just done something for them. You just bought them a free cup of coffee. And I guarantee they're going to remember that. Which agent are they going to remember? Hey, I'm the mayor of this subdivision, right? As Nolly would tell us. So I think that's a great strategy to tack on to what Mike was saying and tapping into these luxury communities.
No, you're absolutely right, and I might even one up it. I might even tell that the cash register person, give them a stack of cards. Everybody that I'm buying a drink for, hand them that. They might throw it out, but some people are shy and they're not going to want to come up to you, or they're going to think you're trying to sell them something. But at least they walk out with the card. And again, what's the most listened to radio station, Tony, your listeners listen to?
WIIFM, right?
Right. What's in it for me? And so who's think about who the audience is. I'm a licensed real estate agent. Who are my potential clients? Some thinking everybody, but somebody that is thinking of what?
Buying or selling. Yep. Or leasing or anything. Yep.
Could be leasing a home, but for the most part, for most agents, they focus on buyers or sellers, right?
Yep.
So literally, 4th of July parade here in Wheaton, Illinois, where I'm based, they had a parade every year. And I drive my father-in-law's big old International CXT. It was a showstopper, had a train horn. But guess what? I donated to the baseball and the football programs in exchange. So I said, I need 8 of your baseball players to walk the parade route and hand out things for me. Well, they loved it, right? Because they're throwing, people are throwing candy. They're seeing their buddies. Well, guess what they were doing? They were handing out a double-sided business card, not a business card, a 4x6 postcard that one side said, thinking of buying a home with something that was kind of unique. So in today's day and age, find out about private listings before they go public. Go here, scan here. Boom, that's what's in it for me as a potential buyer. Well, the flip side is, what's my home worth? Everybody wants to know what's the home worth, or your home might be worth more today than you think it is, or I have a buyer for your home if you're thinking about selling. There's no inventory. Shoot. So you have a message for a buyer and a seller. And so think about that when you're thinking of a video, an educational video, a blog post, a marketing piece. I have a piece, and I'll have my assistant bring it here real quick. Hey, bring me that marketing piece. No, the marketing piece from the mailer on your right there. The mailer for March tip of the month. So one of the things I'm doing, Tony, I want to show this to you because I send this mailing piece to every homeowner in the town I live in, Wheaton, Illinois. So this goes to 20,000, every resident that owns a house or a townhouse. Okay. And again, what's in it for them? What's in it for them? So every month they're getting Wheaton real estate tip for March, every month. So guess what? Next month's going to be real estate tip for April. So every month they're getting this. I'm trying to center it.
And guess what? Yeah, we got it.
Scan the QR code and it takes them over to my blog. Okay. So every month they're getting value. Tip for a buyer, tip for a seller, monthly update. I rotate. So the one that's coming out in April is going to be first quarter recap, Chicagoland real estate recap. So I'm talking about, hey, 2023 interest rates. Is it a buyer's market, seller's market? So every month, every resident in the town I live in, being the mayor, is going to get a marketing piece from me. We do oversized postcards, everyday direct mail. I just sold a home yesterday above asking price. I'm heading that everyday direct mail, oversized postcard is going to hit. This is going to hit every home, 2,500 homes. I'm not doing them all, but I'm doing the top 5 highest earning income households in my town. They're going to do that everyday direct mail. So again, top of mind awareness is really important.
So and what I love is that you get what you go after, right? You catch the fish that you're luring. So I love the fact when you are specifically targeting high end listing, because it's going to cost you the same amount whether
Yeah.
you go after a $2 million listing or a $10 million listing or $100,000 home. It's going to cost you that same 20 cents. So
Yeah.
why in the world are you going after all these low end listings? And it's just that mindset shift. I just
Mindset
cussed.
shift. Mindset shift. So here's
Yeah.
another kind of like renegade type of everyday postcard that I did. So I sold this house above asking price. I literally had an agent text me. You can see the text thread right here. And it says, "Hey, I've been meaning to congratulate you on the tomahawk sale. Most agents would have tried that price for a smaller home, myself included. Myself included. She would not have tried that price." Okay. So I got an endorsement from another agent on this marketing piece. And it says, "We sold this home for 52.3% more per square foot than the average home in this subdivision. Scan to learn how." So guess what happens? When they scan, they're redirected over to a landing page where I'm speaking, talking about how we did it as a case study. So again, total ninja marketing. And that's kind of what we try to do, is just bring more value, top of mind awareness. I got a billboard in my neighborhood. Not everybody can do billboards. I get it. So what can you do, Tony? You can focus on your branding. You can focus on your mindset. You can focus on your database, communicating with your database. And that brings me to my next point, if we can
Now
go
let's go. Yes, please.
there. Okay.
Now you can proceed.
So and I can't go too deep on this today, but there's really 5 things. So for those listeners that have bought, that have helped buyers and sellers, you should have your database segmented into this. Number 1 is past clients. We know that, right? That's your sphere, your database. I won't go into depth on that, but you need to touch your database consistently. Some people need to be touched more. When I say touched, I mean call, text, drop bys, direct mail. Okay. So your top A list clients, you should segment your list A, B, and C. Your A is your A best clients. B is, yeah, they're pretty good. C is, I don't even know if I'd remember them or they'd remember me, or, whatever. So A's got to be touched more than B's, B's more than C's. Okay. So that's past clients. Number 2, buyers of your listings. Buyers of your listings. I have a property that I have on the market right now, 1,249,000. We have above asking price. We just put it on 2 days ago. Guess what? That guy bought my listing 3 years ago. I didn't know him. Okay. His agent didn't stay in contact. I do a postcard in the mailer once in a while in the whole subdivision. And guess what? He said, "We're thinking about selling." He remembered my name. I stayed in contact with the whole subdivision through farming. And I got a $1.25 million listing, about to get it under contract. And that was a buyer of my listing. So that's
Wow.
nugget number 2, is you should consider that being part of your strategy. Number 3, of course, is neighbors of my listings, right? So just listed, just sold, pending, neighbors of my listings. Number 4 is I have a buyer. If you do have a buyer and you can't find something, that's a powerful mailer. If you got something in the mail, Tony, saying, "Hey, I have a buyer looking in blank neighborhood. We can't find anything. If you've ever thought about selling, wouldn't it be nice to be able to sell your home before you go out to the public market and open it up to everybody else? Contact me." And number 5, of course, is farming. You should, have a farm. But again, there's cost, there's associated to all these things. So don't hit the panic button. There is no, as you know, we've done this before. There is no easy button, but you need to be consistent with whatever you're doing, Tony.
That's right. And a few things that I'll touch on with that and maybe dovetail that out some. I love the strategy of I've got a buyer, right? And that's such an easy thing as if you are getting buyers, whether it be from your database, whether it's from lead generation, whether it's from your CRM, whatever strategy you have to get buyers. And again,
Yeah,
we're talking specific, luxury stuff here. But when you get those buyers, they tell you exactly what they're looking for. And
yeah,
then you turn around and you can search the tax records, you can search and even MLS and put together a list of the homes that match that exact criteria, right?
mhm,
And once you're able to do that and pull that, you can say, hey, I've got a client legit that's looking for a 300 and 50,000, I'm sorry, a 3,500 square foot home
right.
in this area with a swimming pool and blank, 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 right? And I think your house might be it. So, and I think that's an incredible marketing strategy to utilize, and it hits right between the eyes. If they're even tinkling around selling, if they're even thinking about it, you're hitting them right dead between the eyes, and you're going to get that call. So
Yeah,
I love that strategy.
yeah, thank you. So, we talked about mindset. We talk about those 5 nuggets in the blueprint. Um, and then the final point I'll make today is really video, 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 video. Okay. So how are you positioning yourself? And video is one way of doing it. I work out at a health club. I literally saw a guy wearing a Purdue hat on Monday. Purdue got upset. That's the number one seed got upset. So I'm
He
talking.
didn't want to talk though. He
Well,
he,
he was
he didn't want to talk.
he's a football guy, but still, I said,
Okay,
"Oh man,
okay.
sorry about Purdue." Well, this lady's like, "Oh, you're Michael." She butchered my last name, but she goes, "Hey, you're Michael LaFido." Oh my goodness, I see you all over. Oh, it's great to me. And my point is the mayor of your city, right? How do you become the mayor of your city? You got to be top of mind awareness. So I share that with you from the standpoint of what are you listeners doing, you viewers doing to stay top of mind awareness in your marketplace so that when someone's thinking of buying or selling, you're there. I have so many of these stories. I was picking up a backpack at my son's friend's house, talking to Shannon out front. This lady walking with her dog by. She goes, "You're thinking about selling?" To Shannon. I didn't know who this lady is. But this lady recognized me, knew I was in real estate, and made the assumption she's talking to Mike LaFido. She must be listing her house. So that's what you want. They call it top of mind awareness. So
That's
that's
incredible.
that's what I wanted to cover for your listeners today, and
That's awesome.
I'd be happy to dive deep on anything. We're coming back down for your Texas listeners. I do want to cover this for your Texas listeners. We are coming back down to Texas. Uh, and we're actually doing 3 virtual CE trainings for any agents in Texas. We're doing 3 virtual CE trainings on April 4th, the 11th, and the 18th, Tony. It's $27 for 3 hours of CE on April 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. If you're a Houston Association of Realtor member, you go to har.com/education. You can see my classes April 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. There are 3 different classes. Each are 3 hours of CE. And then the last thing is our designation training, our in-person training is May 23rd. We already got 23 signed up. This is the year of Michael Jordan. We got 23 signed up. Tomorrow is 3/23/2023. It's the day of Jordan. Tomorrow is the day of Jordan, and we got 23 signed up. So if you want to be a goat, if you want to increase your average sale price, you should consider our Lux course. And for any certain brands, like some EXP, for example, our course is a kind of a prerequisite to get into the EXP luxury division. Ours and a few others, but ours will get you that prerequisite course.
Love it, love it. So, and as we close out, tell us a little bit of. We do have a lot of EXP agents here, some that are not, but I think either one can kind of benefit from understanding. And I
Yeah.
know some people use this for attraction purposes. Tell us a little bit about the EXP luxury program in that brand.
Yeah, so they launched it. It was announced at EXPCon in November. Some really exciting things. They have a panel of 5 uh, advisors, and 2 of them have taken my course. I know the advisors very well. They're excellent. They're building something, pretty exciting. So additional marketing, additional support, additional exposure for your listings. There is a qualification. My course and a couple others is one of the qualifications, and then there's a sales requirement as well. I believe you got to have two sales. that are considered luxury in the past 2 years. EXP basically swiped my definition of luxury. I define the luxury home as a home that's 3 times your market average sale price. So if you serve in Fredericksburg and the average sale price is 300,000, 300 times 3 would be 900,000. If you're in the Woodlands and the average sale price is 425 times 3 or 1,275,000 would be considered luxury.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. How can folks get a hold of you if they want to reach out? How can they do that?
Yeah, so the best way to probably reach out to me, all our social media is on there. There's a drop down menu as well. They can go to luxurylistingspecialist.com, luxury listing specialist. Now, like you, Tony, you're streaming this out. I do a Friday live stream. I call it Luxury Fridays. And if you would maybe put that in the chat, hit the
Absolutely.
subscribe button. But if they go to youtube.com/at luxury specialist, youtube.com/at luxury specialist. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified when we go live. We go live every Friday. So, for example, this Friday, Tony, we typically do it at 11 a.m. Central. We're doing it at 11:30 a.m. this Friday. But my point is, we have 2 agents from different brands. They wanted to get into canceled and expired mailers and best practices for luxury. And so I taught a 6-hour course for the Red X Real Estate Data Exchange. I did a 6-hour course. They charge agents $197 to attend. These ladies went through the course. They dissected. They're going to share the nuggets that they learned in that 6-hour training, absolutely free for everybody. That's just an example. But my point is, every Friday live stream is housed on our YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/at luxury specialist.
Free 99, y'all. It's free 99. You can't beat free. I love that. I love
Free
that.
99. I'm going to write that down. I've never heard that, but I like it.
And while we're asking and while you're scrolling and you got your thumbs out, make sure you smash that like button on our page, that share, subscribe, and most importantly, as Mike mentioned, that bell notification. You will see these podcasts every time we go live. And guess what? I'm not the only broker doing this. Yes, I am the broker for EXP Texas. However, all of my managing brokers are doing this as well in their specific geographical regions. They're doing market updates, things that you can share every single month with your clientele. Mike talked about how important video is. Our managing brokers for each region are going to be giving you information that you can use in your videos, in your marketing to become the mayors of your specific geographical region. So thank you so much, Mike. Last but not least, if anyone needs to get a hold of me, of course, you know where you can do that. EXP agents, hit me on Workplace Chat. That's going to be the fastest way. If you're not with EXP, hit me on LinkedIn at Tony D. King. And that's me. Thank you all so much. Thanks again, Mike. Any parting thoughts?
No, hey, listen, you're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people say you can't do it. Maybe it's someone in your family, in your household. You can see behind me this prove them wrong sign. I love thriving. I love when people say that's an overpriced property. You can't do that. That's what this postcard right here is. We proved them wrong. They laughed. I literally
watch me work.
Neighbors and other agents laughed at the listing price. Well, guess what? We got the last laugh, didn't we, Tony? So I love proving others wrong. And that's my recommendation for your listeners.
And did you recruit them afterwards? Did you give them a call and say,
hey, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Mike. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. We'll see y'all next week. You don't want to miss our guest next week. I'm not even going to tell you. You got to stay tuned in. Watch Workplace Chat. I'm going to drop it. I might drop a hint on LinkedIn, but it's going to be an incredible experience next week. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you.